face on, girl.
I know. I gotta get into hospitality right now. Okay, let's do it.
All right. Welcome back, guys. I'm glad that George can join us this time. I want to kind of just recap last session and see where you guys are doing since we saw you last. So, what I remember is that we talked about your marital problems have been increasing since your daughter's behavioral problems have been increasing. You're seeing her a lot of the time. She's running out. She's going out at nighttime without your knowledge. She's not going to school, which is causing you guys to fight about how to parent her, right? But when we talked about it last time, we ended up kind of breaking it down a little bit more and realizing that what's happening is Zoe's not feeling connected to you guys right now, or there's this distance. That's kind of the name that we are giving the problem, the distance. There's a distance between everybody right now. How do you feel about that, George?
I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing, to be honest. Like, I have to work all these hours because I have to support my family, and here Zoe is just not caring at all, just running out of the house, doing whatever the hell she wants, and I'm supposed to be supportive of that, but I'm literally trying to make sure we can survive.
Right. What do you think that her behaviors make her feel like she doesn't care? What does she not care about?
Our feelings, the fact that we are giving all of this to her so that she can have a roof over her head and food in her belly, and she's just, it's fine. I don't care how my parents feel, whether they want me to be safe or not. I mean, she's just doing whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm. What does that make you feel, Zoe?
I don't think that's exactly what is happening. I just feel that we're not spending any time together, and then when I do want to do things, I'm told no because we're not giving enough time. The last time we talked about Mom sharing the schedule with me so that we can plan better and so that we can spend more time together.
Yeah. Can you see her perspective on this at all, George?
I guess a little. I think it's incredibly difficult to sit here and be like, well, how do we feel about that when we're meeting all of her needs?
What needs do you see that you're meeting?
Roof over her head, food in her belly. She has all of the things that she needs, and she just wants more and more and more and more all of the time.
More as in what?
I want to go do this. I need money for that. I have this friend who wants to do this thing. Like, we just can't live our lives like that. Like, we don't have a lot of money. That's why we both work. That's why we work opposite shifts to try and keep her safe. And it's never enough.
Yeah. Have you talked to her and to understand like what she really wants? Like, cause what we came across last time again is this distance. She doesn't feel connected to you guys anymore. So her way of meeting that need, that connection need was with her friends, right?
Okay.
You see that? How are you feeling, Mom?
Well, I mean, I just got off shift, so I am honestly kind of tapped out right now. I know that Zoe and I were supposed to go shopping this afternoon, but I just feel like so exhausted right now. That's kind of like what I am focused on is, letting her down in that way. So I kind of feel that in myself of like hearing that she doesn't feel connected to us, and all we are doing is working because that's where we are in our lives right now. And it's just kind of, it does bother me that, I'm constantly having to like push her aside and that we are having these problems and that, I too feel like disconnected from, my husband, my daughter.
Yeah.
Because we are just, there's a lot of stuff that we are paying for. There's a lot of stuff that we are trying to make happen. But it's just like, it seems like things are just like not working out. And when we try to have conversations, it ends up in a fight. When we try to like even just talk with Zoe, it just seems like it within 2 seconds it's yelling. We're yelling at each other, and we just don't have like the communication right now. Like we're just immediately going into yelling at each other, and nothing is getting solved, and it's just creating all this tension that, you know, it kind of seems like we're all just in our own separate spaces.
Right.
As you can obviously see now, we are all in our own separate spaces to be able to do this.
Yep.
And we're just like, we're in this constant tense mode, and I guess
Yeah, so I'm hearing that you're frustrated. You have a lot of tension going on, which is probably really only making the problem of the distance or distance between you guys worse, right?
Like the avoidance is just getting stronger and stronger.
Yep. So I kind of want to I want to try to make sure we're reframing the problem of the distance as its own thing. None of you guys are the problem, right? Can we agree on that? Like, it's not an individual thing. We're not blaming this on anybody. Somewhere along the road, this distance came between you, and we need to figure that out. So I want to talk about that in a little more depth and in mapping the influence of the problem. But first I wanted to see, have there been any small changes in thoughts or behavior since the last time I saw you?
I feel like Mom's sharing the schedule well, and we were able to sit down and talk about like things that we could do together. And obviously, when, like Mom said, she's not feeling up to going shopping this afternoon, so it is kind of bumming that we're not gonna be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like also, if she's not gonna be feeling up to it, then it's not worth trying to go and make it a good time, you know.
Yeah, I can understand that. And you said that she shared the schedule with you, and you guys made some time. How do you feel about her at least making the effort to share the schedule? And then my next question would be, like, if going shopping isn't going to work, is there a better way that you guys can spend the afternoon together?
Right. I think it's good. The schedule helps me feel like at least a part of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of like going out and doing shopping or whatever, I feel like maybe if you want to, we could just like watch a movie or just like hang out at the house or do something there.
How do you feel about that, Mom?
I mean, I'm glad that she's being understanding, because I feel like any other situation, if it was just the two of us, it probably would have been a huge blow up.
Right.
But like, I would love to just sit and watch movies and relax. Because again, I'm just feeling so drained from work. Just doing like very low intensity stuff.
Yeah.
I would be, you know, still that time is set aside. I have nothing else planned, so just anything that we can do together where, you know, it's kind of like what Zoe wants to do, like, is I will go along with that within, obviously, reason.
Okay. That sounds really good to me. And I think that just having this moment of good communication is going to set it up in the future for better moments of communication as well. So I want to kind of talk, though, about, and we can start diving into the distance. So when did you guys first notice the distance? If you can think back, like, when did it really start becoming a problem?
I feel like it was when I got a job. Like, I had been a stay-at-home mom for so many years, and then within the last, like, when was it? 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
3 years I've been in the field. Like, we had this luxury of, like, me always being home, Zoe and I always being together doing really whatever we wanted. But it was at the, you know, stake of George always working. I mean, like 80-hour weeks. Like, he was nonstop working to be able to provide that. I would call it a luxurious lifestyle that we had. And then, you know, but it was just him and I feeling disconnected. We never saw each other. And then that created tension within ourselves, where we tried and thought that this would be the better, is to kind of balance out the hours. But
now we're not seeing each other anyways because we work opposite shifts.
Right.
So it's still there. And I don't think that is something that is going to change. So it's always me and Zoe or Mom and Zoe. Like, it's never all three of us together, which I think creates a big issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear your perspective on it too. It is definitely a struggle to make time for each other, right? That's what I'm hearing.
It almost made it worse.
Yeah.
Like, it almost made it more difficult. And then I just think that, like, it pulled us both away from Zoe rather than just one of us. Cause, like,
right.
And it was just, again, we were thinking that it would make it better, but it just in turn has just,
Right.
I feel like it's really isolated Zoe. I mean, she's an only child, so she has no other outlets, she has no other siblings, and going from all the time having that attention to, you know, nothing, and now it's just fighting. If we are together by happenstance, you know, in passing, it's, you know, the side eye, it's, you know, very almost like elevator talk. Like, we're just making something to act like we are somewhat connected, but it's meaningless, or we're arguing. And it's about, you know, you didn't buy carrots and we're fighting over it when we weren't even gonna have carrots for the next 3 days. And it's all business. It's a transaction right now, it feels. And everything is kind of like a transaction. I mean, I feel like when George said, you know, she has all of her basic needs, she has a roof over her head, she has food, she should be grateful for that. It feels, again, like everything, you know, and he says that I should be grateful for that. Like, we have that, so why is there, you know, why am I unhappy?
Right.
And I just feel like right now it's just
because your needs aren't getting met, right? You all have this need for connection, and we're seeing the distance is affecting everybody. So what in the past before the distance, I know the big change was you going back to work, but were there times when you made it connection work even when you thought it wasn't going to happen? Can you think of a time before where there was, you guys were starting to feel the distance, but you were able to stop it and fix the problem?
I feel like on holidays we spent times together. I don't know what Zoe's thinking or feeling, and I'd like to hear her opinion on that, but I feel like we made holidays a really big deal because that was like the only time that I would have off from work. So we always made specific traditions and times and things for that. Like Christmas was a big deal, Thanksgiving was a big deal. Those kinds of days were really important to us.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Zoe?
I agree. We definitely did a lot on the holidays.
Okay.
For sure. But since like Mom's working now, like with schedule and stuff, like we don't have as much time together during those holidays.
Okay.
Whereas like when Mom was home, we would spend like the whole week of Christmas break off, like doing activities. And when Dad was not working, like he was there doing activities with us too. So we really spent a lot of time, like when there was the holiday breaks and things, like doing all those activities when we were younger.
Right. So
I feel like a magic. Like, we haven't put that effort into, you know, making those magic, because we're just now we're both tired. It's not just like one of us and, you know, the stay at home version of tired, but it's like a different where even then when we're not at work, we are still working. If that makes sense. Like, and we're not making anything magical. We're not putting the efforts into holidays or making those experiences anymore. We've really, I think, I don't know if like George says too, like we have like neglected that. Because I feel like we're just kind of like surviving.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just living. Like, we are going through these motions, this wave, and it's just like, you know, we're robots. We are on the same path. We wake up, this is what we do. We go to work, we come home, we go to bed, we go to work, you know, and it's just, you know, taking care of Zoe, watching Zoe, trying to manage Zoe. And because again, it's just
Well, it sounds again like you have put the effort in before. Now you're feeling drained, so it's a little bit more difficult. What I'm thinking is, now that Zoe's a little bit older, maybe there's some of those responsibilities that you can put on her to help make the holidays a better time to connect, where then she's getting this responsibility, and maybe she'll feel more part of the family because she's helping to set that up. How do you feel about that, guys?
I think that sounds good.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really know like what we would give her. I mean, she's only 16.
Yeah, I mean, it could be planning a meal, right?
Okay.
And just let her do the planning part of it, so that takes that off your shoulders. Give her the chance, you know, and then what I would ask from the two of you is, okay, she planned this 1 hour of a mealtime together. Make sure it's focused on her, on the family for that 1 hour. Okay?
I think that's doable, and Zoe's really good at planning things. She likes to plan parties and
Yeah.
enjoys that stuff with her friends. And I do think we should circle back around to friend stuff, because that's where a lot of these issues are coming in, as far as like
Right.
she wants to spend all this time with her friends, and we still have to make sure she's safe, because there have been times where she's been like sneaking out of her room in the night and like going places without
Right.
us knowing. And that's particularly hard when I work overnights and mom works second
Right.
shift, and we're trying to make sure that she's safe. And I'm happy to allow her to do some things with her friends, but she also has to let us know.
Okay.
And
Well,
we have to process that.
I do appreciate your concerns. We can maybe in this moment make an agreement for her to at least come talk to you guys and stop some of those behaviors, and then we can bring this up in the next session. How does that sound for you guys?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. I think we made a lot of headway here, so we will see you next time.
Okay.